Hello everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts, here to bring you some live summer baseball coverage courtesy of the Lou Tompkins All-Star League 17 and under division. Today's game pits visiting Reading Red against hosting Brookline. We're about ready to get the first pitch of the top of the first inning underway. So really quickly, let's take a look at the batting lineup for Reading Red. Leading off and playing center field, number 10, Matt Ronayne. Batting second, the shortstop, number 15, Nikki Bartolimi. Batting third and playing first base, number 4, Thomas Fralto. Batting fourth, the right fielder, number 6, Pip Robinson. Batting fifth, the pitcher, number 9, Ben Mcgilray. As the first pitch to Ronayne is hit for a grounder over to the shortstop. Fielded, thrown. Close play, but he's thrown out. One pitch, one ground out, well collected and thrown by the Brookline shortstop, number 16, Jake Levin. As Brookline starting pitcher Daniel Villa gets his first out of the day. Now the first pitch to the shortstop, number 15, Nikki Bartolimi, misses for ball 1. On the 1-0 pitch, he golfs one out into center field. Brage Golding is under it, and he's got the can of corn for out number 2. Now coming to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the first, it'll be the first baseman, number 4, Thomas Fralto. This pitch catches the high corner for strike 1. Daniel Villa working very efficiently here in the top of the first. That was only his 4th pitch this inning. Now the 0-1 and contact again. This one's going to drop in fair territory in right field. It's collected by Conrad Wickman out in right. He throws it back into the infield, but that's going to be a clean single for Thomas Fralto. Now coming up to the plate, the right fielder, number 6, Pip Robinson. Villa delivers. That one dips in low for ball 1. So a 1-0 count to Robinson. Pitch. That one just misses as well. That's going to be ball 2. Fralto stands at first with 2 outs here in the top of the first. Villa checks on the runner and fires. Contact here. And it goes under the glove of Levin, and that's going to be a single up the middle, possibly an E6. And there are now 2 runners on as up comes the pitcher. So it'll be pitcher against pitcher as Reading Red trying to rally here in the top of the first. At the plate is Reading's pitcher, number 9, Ben Mcgilray. First pitch comes in high for ball 1. Reading with 2 outs, but now 2 runners on. That pitch catches the outside corner for strike 1. Villa checks the runner. The 1-1 pitch. Good contact here. That's going to go right into center field. Brage Golding collects it, throws it back into the infield, and all the runners hold. 3 straight singles with a borderline error on one of them. And now, after 2 quick outs, Reading makes quick work loading the bases for their third baseman, number 14, Ryan Mulvey. Pitch. That one misses outside. That'll be ball 1. When you get all these balls smacked back in your face, like what's happening to Villa right now, it can make a pitcher nervous. We'll see if he's able to keep attacking. The 1-0 is sliced foul and out of play. That'll be strike one. So 1-1 the count to Mulvey here. Pitch. Swing and a miss. That'll be strike two. Villa not backing down as he hopes to get out of the jam unscathed. Bases loaded, 2 outs. We're getting the action fast here in the top of the first inning here at Warren Field. 1-2. Gets contact. Going out to center. Cut by Golding. And Villa's out of the jam. We get the excitement started early out here with 2 quick outs, but then 3 quick hits to load the bases before a line out to center puts an end to the top of the first. I'm going to go through the Reading Red lineup once again. I was kind of cut off by the fast approaching start of this game. Leading off for Reading Red in center field, number 10, Matt Ronayne. Batting second, the shortstop, number 15, Nikki Bartolimi. Batting third, the first baseman, number 4, Thomas Fralto. In the cleanup spot and in right field, number 6, Pip Robinson. Batting fifth, the pitcher, number 9, Ben Mcgilray. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 14, Ryan Mulvey. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 7, Ryan Miller. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 1, Jack Growney. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 16, Mike Pelledge. So we now see Mcgilray taking the mound for Reading Red as Brookline gets ready to show their hitting lineup. These two teams faced off earlier in the season. It was the season opener for Brookline. They came away with a 5-3 win. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to cover that game due to some Wi-Fi connectivity issues out in Reading. But a bit of a perfect bookend of sorts, as this will be the last regular season game for these two teams. Of course, we'll have the Tournament of Champions starting next Tuesday. Brookline already guaranteed a pretty high seed with the second seed, and it's very unlikely that things will change. But starting off here in the bottom of the first for Brookline will be the second baseman, number 3, Donnell O'Neill. First pitch comes in high for ball 1. O'Neill usually bats at the bottom of the order for Brookline, but it's not because he's an ineffective hitter, as the 1-0 pitch comes in, and he slices it foul over the backstop. Now, O'Neill is one of those guys you put at the bottom of the order because you know that if the order shakes out just right, then he's effectively leading off for the top of your lineup, in a sense, because he is a pretty good on-base guy. The 1-1. He gets contact here. It's a dribbler back to Mcgilray, and he quickly throws it to first for out number 1. So now 1 out, and up comes the first baseman, number 10, Eli Rothman. Mcgilray, the first pitch, comes in high for ball 1. Rothman's been one of the more consistent hitters for Brookline all season long, but he's hit a bit of a 2-game slump. He's gone 0 for 3 in each of the past 2 games he's hit in. This one comes in high for ball 2. And of course, that includes the game 2 nights ago in Waltham, where the Brookline offense went pretty anemic as this pitch comes in high for ball 3. The team lost to Waltham 3-1. They were held to just 2 hits all game. So just about everyone up and down the lineup hoping for a better performance today. The 3-0 pitch catches the inside corner for strike 1. 3-1 pitch. He makes contact here. It's a little dribbler over to the shortstop, charging in, making the throw, and he guns him down at first. So back-to-back ground outs make it 2 quick outs to start the bottom of the first. But of course we saw how that ended up for Reading Reds offense in the top of the first. For now, coming up to the plate for Brookline is the pitcher, number 12, Daniel Villa. The first pitch is smacked right into the glove of the shortstop. Nice catch by Bartolimi. And Brookline goes down in order. So after 1, we are scoreless. Brookline 0, Reading Red 0. Once again, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, bringing you live coverage of this Lou Tompkins All-Star League 17 and under baseball contest. Thank you all for tuning in as we get ready for the second inning. As I said, this is the last regular season game for both teams. Next week we start the Tournament of Champions. And it'll be interesting to see how things shake out. Right now, Brookline is pretty secured in the 2nd seed. They stand behind Medford. The seeding is decided by total number of wins rather than win percentage. Medford leads the way with an 11-1 record, while Brookline is in second with a 10-3 record. There is a very slim chance that Waltham will try to make up both of the games that it has missed, that it will try to make up 2 games that it has to make up. And if they win both, they would improve to a 10-4 record. And because they beat Brookline twice this season, they would get the tiebreaker and move into the 2nd seed. But that's the only scenario where Brookline would not be the 2nd seed. And of course, even for that to happen, they would have to lose this game. So that's where Brookline stands in the playoffs. But for right now, our minds are on this game as the first pitch comes in and it's sliced out of play for a foul ball. At the plate for Reading Red to start off the top of the second is the second baseman, number 7, Ryan Miller. We had a very fast, very explosive top of the first inning. We'll see what happens this time through. The 0-1 catches the corner. Nice off-speed work from Villa there for strike 2. The 0-2 gets him to make contact. It's over to Sam Paulgreen at third. Caught by Eli Rothman, the first baseman, for the 5-3 ground out. Now up is the catcher, number 1, Jack Growney. It's the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up here in the second, so no matter what, we'll be cycling back to the top of the lineup in the 3rd inning at the latest. As the first pitch curves in for strike 1. Now the 0-1. That one misses low and inside. 1-1 now the count. Now the pitch. That one skips in the dirt. That's going to be ball 2. So 2-1 now the count to Growney. This pitch, he's got contact out to center field. Brage Golding is busy so far today. That is the 3rd catch he's made out in center field so far today. At least the 3rd catch in the air, as he's also had 2 base hits come his way. So now coming up with 2 outs and nobody on, the left fielder, number 16, Mike Piledge. First pitch, and he makes contact. It's a grounder taken by Paulgreen, thrown to first, and beats him out for another 5-3 ground out. So down in order for the top of the second, and now the Brookline lineup due up. And I realize I've been neglectful in giving the full Brookline roster for today, so I'll do that right now. Leading off for Brookline, as you probably saw in the bottom of the first, was the second baseman, number 3, Donnell O'Neill. Batting second, the first baseman, number 10, Eli Rothman. Batting third, the pitcher, number 12, Daniel Villa. In the cleanup spot and set to lead off this inning, the extra hitter, number 6, Jack Martel. Batting fifth, the center fielder, number 11, Brage Golding. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 13, Conrad Wickman. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 9, Sam Paulgreen. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 16, Jake Levin. Batting ninth, the catcher, number 15, Nathan Toretsky. And batting 10th, the left fielder, number 7, James Redding. So Mcgilray returns to the mound for Redding Red. Ready to face the 4, 5, 6 hitters for Brookline, Martel, Golding, and Wickman. Martel took a loss on the mound 2 days ago against Waltham. He pitched 4 innings and gave up 3 earned runs on 5 hits, 4 walks, 1 hit batsman, and had 1 strikeout. He's not on the mound today, but he'd certainly like some better results at the plate, as he went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts against Waltham. Pitch. He slices the first pitch he sees into left field. It's being tracked and caught. So a fly out to left to start things off. Now up the center fielder, number 11, Brage Golding. Mcgilray delivers. He's showing bunt. He lays it down the third base line. Third baseman picks it up in foul territory. Golding, a lethal base runner, and when he places those bunts perfectly, it's an automatic hit. The problem is he has a lot of trouble keeping those in fair territory while sending them exactly where he wants them. 0-1, the pitch, and full swing. He sends it to the backstop for strike 2. And you know Golding wants that first pitch bunt attempt back, because that was very close to being a bunt single. The third baseman was making a nice play on it, but it would have been really close. The 0-2. That one misses outside for a ball 1. On Wednesday at Waltham, Golding was 0 for 2, one of the many hitless batters in the Brookline lineup that day. Pitch, and he slices this one foul and out of play. As a matter of fact, the only 2 hitters that had a hit on Wednesday are not in the lineup today, those being Andrew Silverman and Declan Tracy. The pitch. He's got good contact here, and that's going to drop into left field. Brookline has their first hit of the day. Now with a runner on first and 1 out, up comes the right fielder, number 13, Conrad Wickman. First pitch, Wickman, a big swing and a miss. You know, guys like Brage Golding and Conrad Wickman are just really nice stories for me as a guy who followed this team both last summer and this summer, and I'll explain that in a moment after this pitch. As Golding takes off, pitch comes in high for a ball, and Golding doesn't even have to slide. He's just that fast. Stumbled a bit, but doesn't matter. So like I was saying, Golding and Wickman, some really feel-good stories for me personally as a guy who's covered the team. Last year, these were pretty small-time guys who have now become very integral parts of the Brookline offense as the 1-1 pitch goes over the head of the catcher and Golding decides not to run. That'll make the count 2-1. I mean, last year, Wickman was basically a bench warmer that you almost never saw play. And now he's a regular in the lineup, and he's batting 6th. And he's earned that spot as he fouls this one to the backstop to make it 2-2. And Golding was a guy who always hit at the bottom of the lineup and was practically an offensive liability for the team. He took a long time to get his first hit of the season last year, but now not only is he lethal on the base paths and with his glove out in center, he's also a fairly consistent hitter. 2-2 pitch comes in, and it's sliced out of play. Don't worry, no one was hit by that foul ball. But my point really is it's just nice to see these kids grow and develop their game over time. It's really nice to see that progression over time. It's just a cool experience just as someone who's watching. 2-2 pitch again. It's a high bouncer over to second, fielded by the second baseman, thrown to first. That'll be out number 2, but Golding will advance to third. So now coming up with the first run of the game, just 90 feet away, but 2 outs, is the third baseman, number 9, Sam Paulgreen. First pitch from Mcgilray, and he couldn't check his swing there. Might have been in the zone anyway. That'll be strike 1. Paulgreen's a guy who's had a few pretty nice hits this season. His bat's gone a little cold of late, but he's got a good chance here as he hits one foul down the third base side for strike 2. On Wednesday, of course, Paulgreen was 0 for 1 with a walk, a strikeout, and he was caught stealing once. Now the 0-2 pitch. In there for strike 3, and that's going to end the inning. Brookline strands a runner at third. And we are now through 2 here at Warren Field. Still scoreless, Brookline 0, Reading Red 0. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and I'll be back after a brief mute break. Stay tuned. And I'm back. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan coming to you live from Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of this Lou Tompkins All-Star League 17 and under baseball contest between Brookline and Reading Red. We are about to start the top of the third inning, and we're starting with the top of the lineup for Reading Red. Starting with number 10, Matt Ronayne. First pitch from Daniel Villa curves in low for ball 1. This pitch, that hit him. That is a hit by pitch, and Ronayne gets a free trot to first. So the top of the lineup starts with a free pass to first base. As now coming up is number 15, Nikki Bartolimi. First pitch catches the high end of the zone for strike one. Bartolimi, his last time up, he flew out to center. He's hoping for a better result now. And a throw back to first for Ronayne. Barely collected by Rothman. Dangerous throw there. Ronayne, of course, he grounded out to the shortstop in his first at-bat, but now he's on base, and now he's taking off for second. Swing and a miss. Strike, and the successful steal for Ronayne. So an 0-2 count now to Bartolimi, but now a runner on second. The 0-2 pitch. He golfs this one out to left. Redding is on his horse chasing after it. That's going to land foul. If that hit had come in fair territory, that could have been very dangerous, and we might have the first run of the ball game. 0-2, still the count. The pitch, sliced foul, and over the backstop. Count will remain 0-2. Villa checks on Ronayne and fires. Ronayne's taking off, and it's fouled over the backstop. 3 straight foul balls by Bartolimi to stay in this at-bat, and Ronayne has to go back to second. Redding Red showing aggression on the base pads early in this one, as Villa now has to keep a real eye on Ronayne. That pitch just misses for ball 1. Bartolimi not making it easy on Villa. Pitch, and he slices this one. It's going to stay in the infield. Rothman tracks it, and that's going to be out number 1. One out and a runner on second, and up comes number 4, Thomas Fralto. First pitch, and that one curves in for strike 1. Fralto, his last time up, he got a bit of a rally going with a single to right, but he would ultimately be stranded at third base. Now the 0-1 pitch, runner takes off, pitches in, throw down to third. They got him! A nice throw by catcher Nathan Toretsky, and a nice catch and tag by the third baseman, Sam Paulgreen. Now with 2 outs, the pitch hit off his foot, and they're going to call that one foul. Smart call there. It very clearly bounced off of his foot and changed trajectory. If I'm not mistaken, that's a 1-2 count. Might be 0-2. I'm not entirely sure what the pitch was when Ronayne went for third. Pitch. That one misses outside, and that's going to be a ball. This pitch also misses outside. That's going to be, I think, ball 2. So Fralto also fighting back from an 0-2 count. He's now got a 2-2 count. Pitch. That one comes in low for ball 3. Fralto has worked his way to a full count. 2 outs and the base is empty here in the top of the third. We are scoreless. Payoff pitch comes in low, and that's going to be a walk. An 0-2 count, and Fralto takes 4 straight balls to earn his free pass. Now coming up, number 6, Pip Robinson. Villa delivers, and he misses. That's going to be a wild pitch, and Fralto's going to get a free pass down to second. Now the pitch comes in high for ball 2. Two and 0 as a nice cool breeze blows across Warren Field. This pitch catches the corner for strike 1. It's been a very hot day most of today. Temperature's been in the 90s for most of it, but sun's starting to go down as this one is smacked up the middle. That's going to be a single, scooped up by Golding, and he rifles it home. And the runners hold at the corners. So Reading threatening once again. Coming up with runners on the corners and 2 outs will be the pitcher, number 9, Ben Mcgilray. Pitch, swing and a miss. That'll be strike 1. Mcgilray, his last time up, hit a single to center that loaded the bases at the time, but ultimately all those runners would end up stranded. He's got a prime opportunity to bring in the game's first run here. The pitch, he sends that one out to left. Reading is on his horse, and he's not going to collect it. The first run of the game is going to come in, and this will go for extra bases. A double to deep left by Ben Mcgilray. And he brings in Fralto for the game's first run. Reading Red now up 1-0. Still 2 outs, but now runners at second and third, and up comes number 14, Ryan Mulvey. Pitch is sliced foul over the backstop. Big turnaround of an inning for Reading Red. They were down to their final strike of the inning with the bases empty, and now they've got runners at second and third and 1 running on the board. As this one misses outside. There we go. Didn't even miss a pitch. That's nice. The 1-2 from Villa comes in inside for ball 2. Two and 2 the count. Villa once again trying to minimize damage here. Pitch. That skips away from the catcher, but the runners decide to hold. Regardless, it will be ball 3, and Mulvey will now have a full count. Second and third, 2 down. Reading Red leads 1-0 off the RBI double by Ben Mcgilray. They were down to 2 outs with an 0-2 count against Thomas Fralto. But then he worked a walk, Pip Robinson hit a single up the middle, and then Mcgilray had the big shot to put a run on the board. Pitch here, swung on and missed, and that ends the inning. A big strikeout get for Daniel Villa to get out of the jam, having allowed just 1 run. Regardless, an impressive 2-out rally by Reading Red gives them a 1-0 lead as we get ready to head into the bottom of the third. For Brookline, it'll be the 8, 9, 10 hitters, Jake Levin, Nathan Toretsky, and James Redding. Thank you. So like I said, Brookline coming in with a 10-3 record and really not much wheres they can move in the standings before the Tournament of Champions. Reading Red currently sits at 7-5, 1 win away from a 3-way tie with Waltham and Reading Black for 8 wins total. I'm not sure how they would divvy up those tiebreakers. I don't have all of those memorized, unfortunately, but it could have a big impact on who plays who in next week's TOC. As Reading Red could move up from currently the 6th seed, and depending on tiebreakers, possibly up to 5 or even 4. Leading off for Brookline will be the shortstop, number 16, Jake Levin. Now the pitch. First pitch, and he smacks it right to the third baseman. Nice heads-up grab there by Mulvey. Now coming up for Brookline, the catcher, number 15, Nathan Toretsky. First pitch. That misses just inside for ball 1. Toretsky, not a usual member of the starting lineup for Brookline, but getting a nice chance to start behind the plate today as he bloops this one towards the middle, and that's going to go into center field for a hit. A bloop single up the middle for Nathan Toretsky. And now with a runner on first and 1 out, up comes the left fielder, number 7, James Redding. First pitch, and he gets contact. It's a grounder through the third baseman's legs. That's going to be a single. James Redding, a guy who has been searching for that hit. He's had plenty of struggles at the plate, so it's nice to see him get on base there. As we cycle back to the top of the lineup, up comes the second baseman, Donnell O'Neill. He shows bunt, and he fouls it off for strike 1. O'Neill, his last time up, he led off the bottom of the first with a ground out back to the pitcher. He is now up with Nathan Taretsky at second and James Redding at first with 1 out here in the bottom of the third, with his team trailing 1-0. The 0-1 comes in low for ball 1. O'Neill was 0 for 2 on Wednesday with a stolen base against Waltham. And like just about everybody, he's hoping for a better result here as this pitch comes in high for ball 2. Mcgilray checks on Toretsky at second and delivers, and that one misses outside for ball 3. I talked about how effective Donnell O'Neill can be at getting on base, and one of the ways he does that is he's got a smaller frame, so he has a smaller strike zone, and he's got good plate patience, so he's able to work walks a lot of the time. Just like right there, as that pitch comes in high, and O'Neill trots down to first to load the bases. Now coming up the first baseman, number 10, Eli Rothman. He may be in a bit of a slump the past couple of games, but this is the kind of guy you want up in this situation. And that right there is exactly why. He sends it out to left. 1 run's coming in. They're sending around Reading. It's going to be a close play at the plate. No, it isn't. The throw is wide, and that's 2 runs in. Brookline has flipped the script. Eli Rothman, his first hit in at least 8 at-bats, and it couldn't have come at a much better time. Nathan Toretsky and James Redding both score. And Brookline takes the 2-1 lead over Reading Red. As we got a brief meeting at the mound. But it seems for now they're going to stick with Mcgilray. Or no, they're not. they're changing pictures already. This is going to be number 14, Ryan Mulvey, taking over. Interesting move there. We'll see if it's a 1-for-1 swap and if they just put Mcgilray at third. You know, I talked about guys like Brage Golding and Conrad Wickman, how they've really worked themselves into a regular spot in this lineup. Eli Rothman is another guy I got to mention because, again, I covered this team last summer, and Eli Rothman was a bottom-of-the-lineup guy who seemed to mostly be in there because he had a good glove at first. But this year, both in the high school season and over the summer, he has proven himself a pretty competent hitter. He's pretty consistent. He gets good contact, places the ball well. His game has really developed. And like I said, as an observer, that kind of player growth is just awesome to see. I don't care which team you're covering or at what level. It's always nice to see players put in the work and improve. So as Mulvey warms up, he gets ready to face the Brookline pitcher, number 12, Daniel Villa, who has got to be happy with the current situation as his offense has picked him up and given him a lead to work with once his turn comes back around in the fourth. But for now, he'd certainly like to keep things going and add to his own cause. Pitch. That one comes in high for ball one. Villa, his last time up, he lined out to the shortstop to end the bottom of the first inning. Mulvey checks on O'Neill at second and delivers. And that one missed for ball two. This is the tough thing at this level. Nobody is a specialized reliever, so no one's ever going to be as prepared or as loose as they need to be to come in and relieve someone. The 2-0, and he gets contact here. It's going out to right, caught by the right fielder, and the runners will hold. That ball caught by number 6, Pip Robinson. And an important second out get for Mulvey and the Reading defense, as up comes the extra hitter, number 6, Jack Martel. First pitch to Martel, and he takes a big swing, gets a piece of it, but that's going to be a foul for strike one. Mulvey got him to chase that off-speed pitch. And now the count is 0-1. He checks on O'Neill at second, checks again, and fires. He's got contact here, hard grounder to second, taken by the second baseman, and he tags second unassisted, and that's going to end the inning. So Brookline strands runners at first and second. But not before they manage to, as I said, flip the script on Reading Red. They take that 1-0 deficit and turn it into a 2-1 lead thanks to a 2-run single from Eli Rothman. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, live at Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. I'll be back with the fourth inning after a short mute break. Stay tuned. And welcome back. Once again, I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts, giving you live coverage of this Lou Tompkins All-Star League 17 and under baseball contest between Brookline and Reading Red. As we come into the top of the fourth inning, Brookline leads 2-1. And the first pitch to Ryan Miller is hit as a dribbler past the third baseman, not collected by the shortstop. And a very nicely placed infield hit for number 7, Ryan Miller. You know, one of those plays where maybe you could call an error, but that was such a tough reach, and even if they got it, it was going to be such a tough throw to first. I just got to give the guy an infield hit. That's just my judgment as an unofficial stat keeper. So now up with a runner on first, and taking strike number 1 will be the catcher, number 1, Jack Growney. Growney, his last time up, he flew out to center, and they got a throw back to first. Miller dives back successfully. And another throw, and they got him! If at first you don't succeed. I mean, they even caught me off guard. I was looking back at my stat sheet, and all of a sudden I look up and he's throwing. A really well-timed throw to first by Daniel Villa, and a nice catch and tag by Eli Rothman. This pitch is gulfed in the air. This is going to stay in the infield, and it's tracked by O'Neill for out number 2. So a couple of nice defensive plays on the base paths so far for Brookline. They've caught a runner stealing third, and now they've picked a man off at first. And this pitch is fouled over the backstop and out of play by number 16, Mike Pelledge. Pelledge, his last time up, he grounded out to third to end the second inning. He's once again up with 2 outs and the base is empty. As this pitch dips in low, he almost got him to chase on it, but not quite. And that'll be a 1-1 count. This pitch is swung on and missed, and that'll be strike 2. Got him with the outside curve there. And now a 1-2 count. Pitch. That one comes inside for ball 2. Two-two pitch. He gets contact, back over to third, fielded by Paulgreen again, thrown to first, and a nice stretch out by Rothman for another 5-3 ground out. The top of the 4th ends not exactly in 1-2-3 fashion, but it does end in 3 batters. The score remains Brookline 2, Reading Red 1, as we get ready to head to the bottom of the 4th. Wind starting to pick up a little here out in Brookline, and again, given just how hot it was this morning, you wouldn't expect things to be able to chill out and give a nice breeze the way they're doing right now. I was actually, for those of you who've been following my channel, you probably saw I was trying to cover a semi-pro football game earlier this morning, the Brookline Golden Badgers against the Connecticut Brawlers. But midway through the 3rd quarter, my phone actually overheated, and so I couldn't broadcast the game anymore. I had to leave. So that's just how hot it's been today. Is that my tech was shorting out. But we've got slightly cooled down temperatures here in the later part of the day. And you know what? That's good for me. That's good for the players. I think it's good for just about everybody. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for Brookline as they try to see if they can add to their lead. That'll be Brage Golding, Conrad Wickman, and Sam Paulgreen. We'll start with the center fielder, number 11, Brage Golding. First pitch from Mulvey, and it's a dribbler over to first, collected by the first baseman for the easy out. So Golding now 1 for 2 today after that ground out to Fralto. Now coming up is the right fielder, number 13, Conrad Wickman. That pitch dips in low, and Wickman does not chase. 1-0 will be the count. This pitch comes in low, and that'll be ball 2. Wickman, his last time up, he grounded out to second. Now the 2-0. Big swing and a miss there for strike 1. That one just curved below where Wickman expected it to be. 2-1 pitch. That one skips in low. That's going to be ball 3. Mulvey favoring the lower half of the zone right now, and for most of the pitches it's been a little too low. He's now got a 3-ball count to Wickman. Pitch, and he swings on this one, bloops it into shallow right, but it's well tracked by the second baseman, and Ryan Miller's got the catch. Now up the third baseman, number 9, Sam Paulgreen. His last time up, he struck out looking to end the second inning, which at the time stranded Golding at third. That first pitch misses for ball 1. Paulgreen again up with 2 outs, but this time the base is empty. Pitch. They're going to say that one misses low too for ball 2. The 2-0. That one comes in low for ball 3. 3-0 unless I missed one of those pitch calls. Pitch. And that one comes inside but catches the corner. That'll be strike 1. Paulgreen thought he had the 4-pitch walk. Pitch. In there that time, and that'll be strike 2. Mulvey trying to work his way back from a 3-0 count. He's now got a full count. Payoff pitch. Swung on, and that's a grounder over to second. Miller fields it easily and throws to Fralto for the 4-3 ground out, and that will end the 4th inning. We are through 4 here at Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. The score remains Brookline 2, Reading Red 1. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Friendly reminder, if you are enjoying the broadcast, make sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Stay up to date on all my upcoming broadcasts. You can also follow me on social media. Links to my Facebook and Instagram accounts are in the description of this video. I usually will post like sort of a play of the game of sorts on my Instagram accounts the day after I do a broadcast. So if that sounds like a fun time to you, make sure to subscribe to me there. Also, if you want to make any special requests, a game outside of my normal coverage area, a special highlight package, you can email me regarding those details at jgms88@gmail.com. That email address is also in the description. I typically charge $100 per game and $100 for each multi-game highlight reel I put together. So if those kinds of things interest you, feel free to reach out and discuss details. But in the meantime, as we head to the top of the 5th inning, we're right back to the 1, 2, 3 hitters. And the first pitch to Ronayne is fouled into left field, and it's tracked out in left. As we've got a new player out in left field that I hadn't noticed. And I'm just waiting for him to turn around so I can see who it is. So already one out, very quick on the fly out by Ronan. And this next pitch skips in for ball 1 to Bartolimi. Nikki Bartolimi so far today has flown out to center and popped out to first. 1-0, and he slices this one high and out of play down the left field side. Villa sets the 1-1 pitch. That one misses just outside for ball 2. Now the 2-1 pitch, and he gets good contact here, but right at O'Neill. Bartolimi with a nice reaching swing. I mean, a little to the right or to the left, and that could have been a bloop single into the outfield, but instead it was right at Donnell O'Neill at second base for out number 2. First pitch to Thomas Fralto is fouled over the backstop for strike 1. Fralto so far today has singled to right and drawn a walk and scored Reading's only run so far today. This pitch, he gets good contact. Oh, did he get that? Jack Martel, the diving grab. We had a few defensive changes for Brookline. And one of them was Jack Martel now at shortstop, and he makes a stellar grab to end the inning. My guess is they moved Jake Levin out to left field to replace James Redding. As Martel was available as the extra hitter. So easy substitution there. Don't have to take anyone out of the lineup. Due up for Brookline in the bottom of the 5th inning will be Levin, Toretsky, and Redding. Toretsky and Redding, of course, they represent the 2 runs that Brookline has scored, which has given them their current 2-1 lead. It's the unlikely suspects who have scored for Brookline, which is really nice to see. I mean, you come off a game where your offense couldn't get much of anything going, and then you get some, you know, unlikely cast members getting themselves on base and setting themselves up for one of your ace players to break out of a slump with a clutch 2-run hit. I mean, that's what you want to see from your team going into the playoffs. Though certainly Brookline would like it even more if they could put more runs on the board. And starting off that endeavor in the bottom of the 5th is Jake Levin. He fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. Levin lined out to the third baseman his last time up. This time he hits a grounder over to second, taken by Miller, and thrown to first for out number 1. So 1 down, and up comes the catcher, number 15, Nathan Taretsky. His last time up, he had a bloop single up the middle. Seemed like it was going to be a slow pop-up, but it was just placed perfectly in between the shortstop and second baseman. He got on base and would later score. That first pitch he takes for ball 1. It'll be a 1-0 count. This pitch he's got good contact on, out into center, and that's going to drop in front of the center fielder. 2 for 2 for Nathan Toretsky. What a day he's having. Again, for a guy who's not a regular member of the starting lineup, this is a stellar thing to see. And now back up is number 7, James Redding. He had a nice hit himself, a laser right between the third baseman's legs, and he also later came around to score. Pitch. He's got good contact again. That's another single for Redding. Or is it? They throw for first. He makes it. A valiant throw from right field by Pip Robinson. But James Redding is also 2 for 2. Now with runners on first and second, up comes the second baseman, number 3, Donnell O'Neill. First pitch misses for ball 1. His last time up, O'Neill drew a walk that loaded the bases after back-to-back singles by Toretsky and Redding. It's been almost the exact same scenario so far. Will it be the same with O'Neill as he fouls this one to the backstop for strike 1? The Brookline offense getting life from some unlikely places. Pitch. That one catches the high corner for strike 2. A 1-2 count to O'Neill. Mulvey checks the runner at second and delivers, and that one comes in high for ball 2. 2-2 pitch. He reaches out and bloops one into right. No one's going to get it. That's going to be a foul ball. So one major difference between this inning and the third inning, where Taretsky and Redding started that rally that ultimately got Brookline on the board, is the pitcher, as Mulvey took over after the 2-run hit. And here's good contact by O'Neill. Is that going to be fair? That's a fair ball. This will go for extra bases. Toretsky's being waved around. Redding comes down to third. Donnell O'Neill stands at second with a stand-up double. Again, the unlikeliest of sources. O'Neill, usually more of an on-base specialist who draws a lot of walks and maybe gets some bloop singles, but this one a big double to left, and Brookline takes the 3-1 lead. Now up is Eli Rothman. Pitch. He's got good contact. That's going to be another RBI for Rothman. They're going to hold the runner at third, and Rothman has his second hit of the day and his third RBI. 4-0, Brookline leads. And now up is the pitcher, Daniel Villa, who's got to be even happier with the situation than the last time he was up. They throw back to third, check on Rothman, to first rather, excuse me. Pitch. He hits a hard grounder up the middle. That's going to get past everybody, and that's another run in. O'Neill scores, and Villa's got the RBI hit. Brookline now up 5-1 as Jack Martel comes to the plate. Still just one out in the inning. Pitch to Martel, and he's got good contact. That's going to drop in front of the left fielder. Everyone's going to hold, and the bases are loaded. 6 straight hits for the Brookline offense. And this might be the end of the day for Ryan Mulvey. And indeed, he will be pulled. He did well coming in a tough situation back in the bottom of the third after the starter, Ben Mcgilray, had given up the lead on the 2-run hit by Rothman, and Mulvey did a good job with 2 runners on, getting 2 outs to get out of the jam. And then he sent the batters down in order in the fourth. He was in a good rhythm there, and he got the first batter out. But then after that, just one hit after the next. Single to center by Nathan Toretsky, single to right by James Redding, a double to the left by Donnell O'Neill, a single to left by Eli Rothman, a single up the middle by Daniel Villa, and a single to left by Jack Martel. Just one crack of the bat after another. And finally, he has been pulled. The new pitcher is number 10. That is Matt Ronayne. He takes over, and he'll start off by facing Brage Golding. Golding comes up with the bases loaded and 1 out. He is 1 for 2 so far today with a single and a ground out. The score is now Brookline 5, Reading Red 1. Pitch from Ronayne. That comes in and gets away from the catcher, but the runners decide to hold. Eli Rothman stands at third, Daniel Villa at second, Jack Martel at first. Pitch, and this is a crack of the bat out to center. Dropped by the center fielder. They're going to throw it to second, and they're going to catch Martel. But Rothman is going to come in. Not often you're going to see an 8-6 fielder's choice, but that's basically what that was. Martel out at second. Rothman scores. The score now 6-1. And coming to the plate now is number 13, Conrad Wickman. Pitch from Ronayne. Comes in high for ball 1. The 1-0, Golding takes off. That pitch comes in the dirt, no throw, and Golding basically gets a free steal of second. Two and 0 now the count to Wickman. The pitch, big swing and a miss. Caught him chasing the high heat. That'll be strike 1. Two down, runners at second and third. The pitch to Wickman, and he slices it foul off the backstop. That'll make it 2-2. Daniel Villa stands at third, Brage Golding at second. Pitch. He gets contact here. It's a dribbler over to short, fielded by the shortstop, thrown to first. They missed the throw, and it might not have even been in time, but 2 runs will come in. Eight to 1, Brookline now leads, and up now is number 9, Sam Paulgreen. Wickman leads off from first after clearing the bases. That first pitch comes in low and away for ball 1. Pitch, and this one's fouled to the backstop. This isn't Paulgreen, actually. This is number 17, Avery Melton. So number 17, Melton, now facing a 1-1 count. Pitch. That one comes in low, a throw down to first, and Wickman dives back safely. 2-1 the count to Melton. Ronayne with the pitch. That one misses. That's going to be ball 3. 3-1 now the count. Wickman leads off from first, and they throw back, and he gets back safely. Brookline 8, Reading Red 1. It's been an explosive 6-run inning for Brookline. The pitch, and it's a high bouncer past the third baseman, fielded by the shortstop. Throw, and he got him! A nice play there by Bartolimi. That looked like it was going to be a hit through the gap, possibly even an infield hit. But credit to Bartolimi, he did not give up on the play, and he made a rifle of a throw. So the inning mercifully ends for Reading Red, but not before Brookline put 6 on the board to thoroughly extend their lead out to 8-1. Again, just summing up the inning, it started with a harmless ground out to second, and then Brookline proceeded to hit around the order. A single to center by Nathan Toretsky, a single to right by James Redding, a double to left by Donnell O'Neill brought in Taretsky and made it 3-1. Then a single to left by Rothman brought in Redding and made it 4-1. Then Villa hit a single up the middle to score O'Neill and make it 5-1. Then Martel single to left, and there was a pitching change. Golding hit into what was effectively a fielder's choice to center field, if that makes any sense to you. And in that play, Rothman scored as this first pitch comes in for ball 1 to Pip Robinson. And then, of course, after Golding, as this pitch comes in for ball 2, after Golding, Conrad Wickman hit an infield single, or what probably would have been an infield single, but a throwing error rendered it moot. This is a hard grounder to short, taken by Martel, and thrown to first for out number 1. So the infield hit by Wickman drove in Villa, but then the throwing error by the shortstop brought in Golding from second, and Brookline went up 8-1. That same shortstop, Nikki Bartolimi, redeemed his error with a very nice throw to first on a deep grounder by Avery Melton. Now up with 1 out and taking the first pitch in the dirt for ball 1 is number 9, Ben Mcgilray. Mcgilray is the pitcher on hook for the loss today, as he gave up the lead all the way back in the 3rd inning on that 2-run hit by Eli Rothman. Since then, the floodgates have kind of opened for the Brookline offense, as this 2-0 pitch comes in and hits the zone for strike 1. Daniel Villa, who has already pitched 5 innings, has got a comfortable lead to work with now, as this one is fouled off by Mcgilray. I mean, it's sort of strange how fast this game has felt, because it really has either been a 1-2-3 inning or a hit fest every single inning. It's been a wild game for sure. Count is 2-2 to Mcgilray. Pitch. That one comes in high for ball 3. Count is now full to Mcgilray. Payoff pitch, and he sends this one foul. Bounces off the fence and back into play, but of course, that doesn't count. Count remains full to Mcgilray. Pitch. That one comes in high, and it'll be ball 4. Mcgilray a free trot down to first. He'll be the first base runner since the leadoff man from the top of the 4th. That was Ryan Miller, who then proceeded to get picked off at first. But now up after Mcgilray is number 14, Ryan Mulvey. Pitch to Mulvey, and he fouls it off the backstop for strike 1. Mulvey, like I was saying before, he had a pretty solid relief outing going for him up until last inning when everything just kind of exploded on him. The 0-1 pitch, runner goes, pitch comes in high and inside. The throw down to second is not going to be in time, and Mcgilray steals second. You know, I do like to see that. I like to see that the offense is still getting aggressive, because this game's not over, as this one is fouled over the backstop for strike 2. The score here in the top of the 6th with 1 out and a runner on second is Brookline 8, Reading Red 1. Villa with the pitch, and he golfs this one out to left center, and Golding chases it down, and that's going to be out number 2. Just a friendly reminder, Brage Golding, he has wheels. Whether it be on the base paths or in the outfield, he's got wheels. Now up is number 7, Ryan Miller. That pitch comes high and inside and gets away from Toretsky. Running down to third is Mcgilray. This pitch is fouled out of play. That'll be strike 1. So after pinch hitting for him at the end of the last inning, Avery Melton is now playing third in place of Sam Paulgreen. Melton usually the starting catcher, but with Taretsky behind the plate today, they decided to put him in a different spot. Swung on and missed. That'll be strike 2 to Miller. Yeah, I talked with the Brookline manager, John Busey, before the game, and with the playoff spot kind of settled and with some key players not here today, it's given them a good chance to put guys in different spots and see how they work. As this one is popped into the infield, tracked by O'Neill, and that's going to end the inning. And as you can see, trying things out has worked well for Brookline today. They've seen some pretty good results from some pretty unlikely sources. I mean, Nathan Toretsky and James Redding. I mean, Toretsky doesn't get a lot of playing time, and James Redding, for most of this year, has basically been an offensive liability. Hasn't gotten a good swing together. He's struggled with strikeouts, but Taretsky and Redding, no exaggeration, they've had an awesome game today. I mean, the two of them are both 2 for 2 at the bottom of the lineup with 2 singles each, and they've both scored 2 runs. They're responsible for half of Brookline's runs scored so far today. And, I mean, that's exactly what you want from the bottom of your lineup. Get things started, get on base, and then have your top guys come in and knock them in and really get things going. And that's what has happened. You know, Eli Rothman has had a nice breakout from his brief slump. He's got 2 RBI hits today. Donnell O'Neill had that nice double to left that brought in Toretsky to start the scoring in the 5th. It really has been a stellar outing overall. And we're starting exactly where we started last inning as Brookline hit around the order. Excuse me, hit around the order in the 5th inning. So we'll be starting once again with number 16, Jake Levin. And then following that up with the 2 guys I was just talking about, Taretsky and Redding. Friendly reminder to those watching the live stream, feel free to participate in the live chat. Send out any messages either to me or to any encouraging messages to the players on the field, or just to say, go Brookline or go Redding, whatever team you're rooting for. First pitch to Levin came in low for ball 1. Ronayne back on the mound, and this one is skied out to right. It's being tracked and caught. Pip Robinson tracks out in right field. He's done a pretty good job out in right. That isn't really going to show up a lot on the stat sheets, just because, he hasn't, just because, obviously his team has given up 8 runs, so no defensive performance is really going to show up that much, as up comes Nathan Toretsky. Pitch. That almost hits him, but it's inside for ball 1. 1-0 count to Toretsky. Pitch. That one comes in low for ball 2. Pitch, and that one is fouled off for strike 1. So this will be the 3rd different pitcher that Toretsky will be facing in 3 at-bats, as that one catches the corner for strike 2. Pitch, and he went around that time, and that's going to be strike 3. So Toretsky down on strikes. And with 2 outs and nobody on, up comes number 7, James Redding. Like I said, Levin, Toretsky, and Redding have faced a new pitcher in each of their 3 plate appearances thus far. That pitch comes in low for ball 1. And like I said, a big part of that reason is every time Toretsky and Redding have come up until this inning, they've started an explosive rally. Pitch. Gets contact here, a hard grounder to third, well fielded, thrown to first, and that will end the inning. So a 5-3 ground out ends the 6th inning, but I'll tell you what, like I said, James Redding, he's had a lot of offensive struggles this season. He's had trouble seeing the ball, he's had trouble timing his swing right. He made contact in every plate appearance today, and he got 2 hits and 2 runs scored. To me that's an impressive outing. That's a very impressive outing for that young man, and I'm happy for him. We get ready to head into the top of the 7th. This could be the last inning of this game, and speaking of James Redding, they're putting him on the mound. Daniel Villa comes off the hill after 6 impressive innings of work, keeping the Redding Red offense at bay. If results do not change, he is on the hook for the win on the mound. The lead is a little too big for Redding to be eligible for a save, but this is also the first time I've seen Redding pitch this season, so my guess is if this were a proper save opportunity, it probably wouldn't be Redding they would send to the mound. So Redding will, It's going to be Reading pitching to Reading, and my head is going to explode before this inning ends, I promise you. Bad pun play aside, it'll be Growney, Pelege, and Ronayne due up for Reading Red against Reading the pitcher. Okay, you know what? I make no promises. I might make several more puns before this inning is over. You have been warned. We've seen a few defensive changes today. We saw Jack Martel, the starting extra hitter, come in at shortstop after Jake Levin moved out to left field while James Reading moved to the extra hitter position. But now Reading returning to the field as the pitcher to try and close this game out. And first at the plate for Reading the team, not Reading the pitcher, will be the catcher, number 1, Jack Growney. First pitch, and it's a hard grounder over to third, taken by Melton, thrown to first, and Rothman couldn't scoop it. So Growney reaches on an error to start off the inning. And now with a runner at first, up comes number 16, Mike Pelege. Reading checks on the runner at first. Growney dancing off the bag, and now the throw. And this one is sliced high and out of play down the third base side for strike 1. Pelege, his last time up, he grounded out to third to end the 4th inning. He also grounded out to third to end the 2nd inning, but he can't end the inning here. But he'd certainly like to get on base here in his 3rd plate appearance. Pitch, big swing and a miss. That'll be strike 2. Pitch, swung on and missed, and that's going to be strike 3. James Reading, the regular backup first baseman, and seldom, in his first pitching outing of this season, to my knowledge, he gets the strikeout swinging, and that's now 1 out. Now at the plate with 1 out and a runner on first, number 10, Matt Ronayne. First pitch comes in high for ball 1. Oh, they're actually going to call a balk. So I'm not sure if that pitch counts. I don't think it does. So Growney gets to go to second, and I'm pretty sure the count is still 0-0. And now the pitch from Reading. That one comes in high, and it's ball 1 anyway. Reading steps off the rubber to reset himself. It is a 1-0 count to Ronayne. Pitch, and that one hit him. So now we got 2 runners on with 1 out, and up comes number 15, Nikki Bartolimi. First pitch, misses outside for ball 1. Bartolimi's had a couple nice plays at shortstop for Reading Red today, but he's hoping to make an offensive dent here, as that one also misses for ball 2. Growney at second, Ronayne at first. 2-0, big swing and a miss for Bartolimi. That'll be strike 1. Brookline 8, Reading Red 1. Brookline 2 outs away from ending the regular season on a win. Reading checks the runner at second and steps off the rubber. James Redding trying to close things out here. The pitch, that one misses for ball 3. It'll be a 3-1 count to Bartolimi. Pitch, gets him to swing. It's a hard grounder to third, taken by Melton. He gets the lead runner and nobody else. So Growney out at third. And now with 2 down and runners at first and second, up comes number 4, Thomas Fralto. Pitch comes in low for ball 1. Want to know the count? The pitch. It's a hard grounder. That's going to go up the middle, past O'Neill, into center field, taken by Golding. He throws it back into the infield, and all the runners hold. Now we're reconnected. Live, folks, you only missed one pitch. It was a ball. Now it's skied out to left on his horse and caught by Jake Levin. That's going to end the ball game. Redding Red made it interesting here in the 7th, but ultimately the deficit was too big to overcome. Your final score here at Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. Brookline 8, Redding Red 1. Brookline finishes the regular season with an 11-3 record. Redding Red finishes at 7-6. And with this being likely the last day of the regular season for just about everybody, I don't expect too many spots in the standings to change after this one. The only other, there are no other games today, and there are no other games scheduled for the regular season. So I think this was the end of the regular season for the Lou Tompkins All-Star League 17 and under division. So be that the case, the standings are as followed. The number 1 seed, Medford. Number 2, Brookline. Number 3, Watertown. Number 4, Waltham. Number 5, Redding Black. Number 6, Redding Red. Number 7, Belmont. And number 8, Muddy River. So the first round of the Tournament of Champions will be Medford hosting Muddy River, Brookline hosting Belmont, Watertown hosting Redding Red, and Waltham hosting Redding Black. And from there on, it's all going to depend on results. So a fine win for Brookline. And before I wrap up this game, once again, my name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. If you enjoy the broadcast, if you like the game, be sure to hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. You want to stay up to date on things. You can also follow me on social media. Links to my Facebook and Instagram accounts in the description of this video, as is my email address. If you scroll a little lower, you'll see my email, jgms88@gmail.com. You can reach out to me to cover games or to produce highlight reels, whatever you may fancy. And yeah, what a fun game this was. Redding Red put up a big threat in the first inning, loaded the bases with 2 outs, but couldn't get anyone across. After some 1-2-3 innings and one other runner stranded in the second inning, in the top of the third was when things got going. With 2 outs, Thomas Fralto drew a walk. Then Pip Robinson hit a single up the middle, and Fralto moved to third. And then a double to deep left by Ben Mcgilray brought in Fralto and gave Redding Red a 1-0 lead. But unfortunately, that's where the scoring would stop for the visitors. From there, it was all Brookline. In the bottom of the third, a rally started from the bottom of the lineup. Back-to-back singles by Nathan Toretsky and James Redding. And then 2 batters later, Eli Rothman breaking out of his slump with a single to left to drive in both Taretsky and Redding and give Brookline what would turn out to be the winning runs. Things would stay where they were until the 5th inning when Brookline exploded once again, with Toretsky and Redding once again leading the charge. Back-to-back singles to put runners at first and second. Then a double to left by Donnell O'Neill brought in Toretsky. Then a single to left by Rothman brought in Redding. A single up the middle by Daniel Villa brought in O'Neill. And just like that, it was 5-1. A single by Jack Martel loaded the bases. Brage Golding hit what could have been a single to center, but because it was such a close play, the runners kind of held up, and so the center fielder, after not making the catch, was able to throw out Martel at second. Rothman still scored and made it 6-1. Conrad Wickman reached on an infield single to short, scoring Villa, and then a throwing error by the shortstop allowed Golding to come around from second to make it 8-1. That's where the scoring would stop, and that's where we're going to wrap things up. The win on the mound goes to number 12, Daniel Villa, after 6 impressive innings of work. Just 1 earned run. Very good outing from Villa. James Redding pitched 1 inning of relief in what I believe was his pitching debut this summer, and he gets the job done with no score, despite Redding Red loading the bases once again with 2 outs. And the loss goes to the starting pitcher, Ben Mcgilray, who gave up the 2-run single to Rothman before being pulled. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts, and for the last time, your final score, Brookline 8, Reading Red 1. I'll see you back here at Warren Field next week for the start of the Tournament of Champions. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody.